Sister-in-law refused to pick her own bridesmaid outfit, so I made her a prostitute. I've written about my piece of work sister-in-law before, but was recently reminded of this and thought I'd share. This happened in 2014. My husband and I had a cosplay-themed wedding. Guests were allowed to dress in costume or just be comfortable. The wedding party were dressed based on the TV show Firefly. My husband asked me to make his sister a bridesmaid, and I agreed even though I don't like or get along with her. My only rule for what the bridesmaids wore was that it needed to be a character from the show, and I didn't want any repeat, so they just needed to let me know who they were going to be so I could make sure we were all different. My sister-in-law knew about this before she agreed to be in the wedding. The other 3 bridesmaids all picked their characters and assembled their costumes with very little or no input from me. Leading up to the wedding, she kept asking me what she should wear. My husband and I both encouraged her to watch the show. It's only 13 episodes in a movie, in order to pick a character. She refused to watch even a single episode. There was even a time we were visiting and she asked us over to watch a movie. We suggested this show and she refused. I really just wanted this to be a super laid-back experience because we are not formal, serious people, but she was making it difficult. She kept asking me a couple more times what she should wear and finally asked me to just send her some options to pick from. I spent a bit of time finding characters and emailed her a list, including screenshots and descriptions. I even took into account that she would be breastfeeding and would need an outfit that could accommodate that. I don't remember all the characters I sent, but they included the school teacher, the sex robot, companions, and a few others. Weeks later, she still hadn't even looked at the list and was asking me what she should wear again. I told her to look at the list, and she said she would. A couple weeks later, she's asking again. It got really annoying that she was refusing to put any effort at all into it. Finally, she told me to just pick who she should be, so I picked the pregnant prostitute. She didn't even bother to look up the character after that, and still pestered me about what specific clothes she should buy. She didn't find out until after the wedding that was who the character was, and she was really upset with me. I told her she should have picked her own character if it mattered. Edit, I just want to address something that keeps popping up below. The entire canon of the show is 13 episodes in a movie. At no point did I ask or require her or anyone else to watch all of it. We suggested she watch one episode so she could get the vibe we were going for, but she refused. She could have dropped out of the wedding at any time, but she chose to make things more difficult for me. As it was, I was already making my husband's coat, my entire outfit, and all 3 flower girls' dresses, River if anyone cares, for the wedding. The last thing I wanted was to have to hold a bridesmaid through their outfit choice. Story 2. You comment about my weight, I comment about yours too. So there's this guy at work who walks around yapping a lot unnecessarily. We ran into each other at a hallway in our office and we stopped to say hi to each other, and there afterwards says, "What are you eating? Because you've gained a lot of weight these past few months." And I went like, "Apparently whatever you're eating, because you've gotten fat too." And he went numb. He had his pals with him and I'm sure it was embarrassing for him. Yay! I don't like body shaming, but I feel I had to in this instance because my policy is stupid questions deserve stupid answers. Hope this teaches him to mind his business. Story number 3. Friends made fun of my singing, so I sabotaged their performance. This happened a few weeks ago. I don't know how it is done in Protestant churches in other countries, but in our church there's room for solos, duets, or different groups singing to the rest of the church during the service, which is not part of the liturgy. 2 of my friends, let's call them Mark and Lucy, who happen to be siblings, always sing a duet on guitar almost every week. Sometimes they ask some other people to sing with them too. One Sunday morning I overheard them laughing and talking with other people, making fun of me, saying I sucked, and how I couldn't carry a tune, and even the sound of me farting was pitchy. I know I'm not a good singer, but still, it was hurtful. So during the sermon, I excused myself to the toilet, and before I walked out, I decided to untune Mark's guitar, which was leaning against the wall at the back. When it was finally time for them to perform, it took them around 5 minutes trying to retune it while everyone was waiting and staring at them. It was really awkward, and even then some of the strings were buzzing and he could not find their original key for Lucy to sing in. She ended up singing very, very low, below her natural range, and it sounded like she was trying so hard not to burst into tears. It was so bad. Who sucks now, huh? Story 4. Moving day. This happened yesterday at my new next-door neighbor's townhouse. He bought the house a few weeks ago, and the movers came to unload the truck with his household stuff and move him in. A huge truck pulled into the driveway in front of his garage. When they opened up the back of the truck and looked at what was there, they told him he needed to pay them an additional $400 because of how much stuff he had, and that it would take 2 more hours to unload. He protested, but they threatened to leave and he could take it up with the moving company. They had him over a barrel and took the credit card payment. The movers asked him to open the garage door so they could take everything into the townhouse, because the front door off to the side had about a dozen steps. There was a car in the garage and they asked him to remove it. He did. The truck pulled up and in about an hour everything was unloaded and inside. But he had pulled the car in behind the truck, effectively preventing it from driving out. When they asked him to move it, he told them that his wife had the keys and was out shopping. She would be back in a couple hours since they had told him and her that they needed a couple extra hours to unload. When they pushed back, he told them that he was paying for 2 more hours of their time, so it really didn't matter. She walked out the front door 2 hours later and moved her car so they could drive out and leave.